It's arguably the best place to go single-seater racing. We are here at Monza for round number 4 of the 2020 Euroformula Open, the round that will officially bring us to halfway through the season. 17 laps of racing about to be coming your way, and it's going to be the first of 3 times we go racing this weekend. An extended timetable. It'll be one of 2 times we do it this season. A pretty pleasant afternoon here in Italy. It's going to be a great race, I'm sure, after 2 very close qualifying sessions that we've had already, where the slipstream was coming into effect very heavily. It was shown that you can slipstream each other around corners, stay fairly close together, so this could be a very close race indeed. My name's Chris McCarthy. It's a pleasure to be here calling the action for you. As ever, Elliot Wood will be alongside in the commentary box. Let's go through the grid for you. Here is Yiffy Yi. He's going to be starting on pole position. It was the 6th pole position for him when he took it first thing this afternoon. They were out on track at 9 o'clock here local time this morning, and Yiffy Yi taking pole position. Waited late to do it, but Yiffy Yi got himself at the front of the field, and there he is. He'll be looking to add to his wins. Starting alongside him, it was his best qualifying position so far. Nicholas Cruton, the German, after taking his first podium last time out. Nicholas Cruton starts alongside on the front row, and if he can get a good launch, might even be in a position to challenge going down towards turn number 1. Nicholas Cruton, high in confidence, up to 7th in the championship with a strong chance of moving up the order. Here in 3rd place is going to be Cameron Daz. Was with us once so far this season. That was at Paul Ricard. He's back for a 2nd time. Paul Ricard, he was down the lower end of the top 10 in each race, so this where he should be by his standards. Let's see what he can do from 3rd. After 2 2nd places last time, Manuel Maldonado continuing his good form, showing that that was no fluke. He's going to start on the 2nd row. Another driver who will be looking to continue that podium run. Alongside him, though, a driver that's going to be wanting to do the same. Sebastian Esner is on the inside of row number 3. He got back to where he started the season, which was with a 3rd place last time. His older brother is going to be starting to his outside, though. Andreas Esner will start from 6th place. Not a good round for him at all last time, a 4th place and a DNF. He'll want to get back to his form that he's been showing. Lucas Dunner, like Cameron Daz, is back with us for a 2nd time this season. F3 has now ended. Lucas Dunner is now back, and on that weekend, he battled away with Yiffy Yi. It was 1-1 for them in terms of victories that weekend. It looks like Yiffy Yi could go 2-1 though, as here now we look at Alexandre Bardignon, his best qualifying performance so far this season. Alexandre Bardignon, so good performance from him. Ido Cohen though, a little bit of the opposite for him. He has gone backwards so far this weekend. In terms of his results, his worst result so far this season is 6th. It's been very consistent. Alongside him on the outside of row 5 is going to be Glenn Van Berlo. Got his best results of the season last time, a 7th and a 5th. Did very well, did the Drivex driver. He starts in 10th place, and 11th is another driver who is racing on his own within his team this weekend. Ayrton Simmons would be very disappointed to be outside of the top 10. Had a 6th, has finished 6th or 7th so far this season in every race. Rui Andrade struggling a little bit as well this weekend. He's down in 12th place. Let's see if the Angolan driver can move forward. And speaking of struggling, the next driver, someone who has just not got going since the end of Paul Ricard, Zane Maloney, had a really torrid time last time, did Zane Maloney. Scored no points at all, and it doesn't look like he's going to score many in this first race. Would need a lot of good fortunes to do so. Starts from 13th. There we can see Yiffy Yi getting himself ready to go. Confident as ever in the Crypto Tower Racing team car. Safety car is now pulling away. Drivers very shortly will follow as the grid will be cleared. And there a look at the grid. Mechanics now beginning to leave. Here is on board with Zane Maloney, and you can see quite a few cars ahead of him. It's he's going to hope he has a very busy race as he makes his way through the field. So we talked about the last round. Let's show you the highlights from it. As you saw Yiffy Yi on the front row, a good launch for him, bad launch for one of the drivers down the field. That left them swallowed up, but into the first corner, Yiffy Yi took the lead and pretty much ran off with it from there. Zay Maloney picked up a puncture. That was him going off into the gravel after his pit stop, and that was Yiffy Yi taking the top step once again. Similar story on day 2, really. Once again, a slow launch for one of the drivers down the field. This was Ido Cohen, just about avoiding an incident. You'll see it there. And Ido Cohen having to pull to the outside. Andreas Essner didn't go much further. After that, he would have to retire from the race. Manuel Maldonado briefly took the lead, but then lost it again, straight away from Yiffy Yi. That was Andreas Essner walking away from his car. That was Alexandre Bardignon and Rui Andrade colliding. And out front, it was a double win once again for Yiffy Yi. Here we go, race 1, very close to getting underway. It's round number 4 of the Euroformula Open and race 1 of 3 this weekend. The grid will be as so. Yiffy Yi and Nicholas Cruton on the front row, split by just 1/10 in qualifying. Cameron Daz and Manuel Maldonado form row number 2. Row 3, it's the two Essner brothers. It's not the first time they've started alongside each other. Sebastian leading Andreas. Behind that, Lucas Dunner looking to continue his podium run on his first return since Paul Ricard, and Alexandre Bardignon takes his best qualifying performance. Ido Cohen will hope to move forward from there. Hugely consistent Ido Cohen. Glenn Van Berlo got his best results last time, down in 10th. And then outside of the top 10, Ayrton Simmons and Rui Andrade. And rounding out the field is Zay Maloney. Zay Maloney, lots of problems for him last round, continuing into this round as well. We had qualifying 2 earlier, and it really wasn't much better for him in that session. So he's got to get his elbows out, really, if he wants to score big points. But this is a track you'd have to say that you can do that. The Monza circuit always provides very close racing. It's one that any racing fan looks forward to on a calendar. Monza, in these cars, always provides good close racing. We hope to see more of that. Qualifying was all about trying to get a slipstream, teammates working together. I give you a tow this lap, then dropping behind, you give me a tow the next lap, that kind of thing. In the second session, things got a little bit busy, but the Crypto Tower Racing teammates did work together, and Yiffy Yi snatched pole at the very end of the first qualifying session. There we have a look inside the Crypto Tower racing team, getting themselves ready to go. So Yiffy Yi is to the right of picture, Nicholas Cruton to the left-hand side of your screen. Double R Racing there, running Ayrton Simmons this week, as they are throughout the whole season. That's Nicholas Cruton. What a qualifying it was from him. The driver as well, Nicholas Cruton, so by far the lead rookie. And he's tied for points for the lead in the rookie class as well with Sebastian Essner. But Nicholas Cruton, forget the rookie championship, I mean that's going to be important to him. Very close battle in that, but he's 7th in the overall championship. And looking at the points, he's only 80 points back from Manuel Maldonado in 3rd. Manuel Maldonado in 3rd, though, will have his eyes on Andreas Essner, who starts directly behind him on the grid. Andreas Essner is 3rd in queue to the left-hand side of screen. Just ahead of him, Maldonado 2nd in queue. Now, they are split by just 15 points. Earlier this season, when we were at Paul Ricard, Andreas Essner had quite a big gap to Yiffy Yi in front, but quite a big gap to the guys ahead. To the guys behind, sorry. And with Maldonado taking 2 second places and Andreas Essner not finishing race 2, he's closed that gap to 15 points. That's not a lot at all. So we have a smooth run off the line. So everyone gets away nice and safely. They do. So they are off for their formation lap. 17-lap race it is going to be, as we mentioned earlier. that does mean the tyres are going to take a little bit more of a strain, and that's something myself and Elliot were talking about earlier. We'll talk more about that when he joins me in commentary, but we're getting closer to the race start here. This round number 4 of the season. After this, next weekend, in fact, we go to Mugello. A couple of weeks after that, we go to Spa. Then a little bit later on in October, at the very end of October, in fact, we go to Barcelona. And then in November, we head to the Jarama circuit. So the season far from over. I say it's not even halfway through. The end of this weekend, we will be at the halfway point. So in that 35 points between Ayrton Simmons and down in 9th and Andreas Esner up in 2nd. There's a lot of room for movement there. Yiffy, well, you know, he's well clear and in front. He's over double the points of Andreas Esner, but he's just had that unbeatable kind of form. He's only been beaten once this season. The driver who did that was Lucas Dunner. He's in the purple colours. You may just see going past us. He's down in 7th though, so he's clear from him, but hey, Nicholas Cruton's going to be on that front row and thinking, you know, if I get a good launch here, there's going to be nothing stopping me from throwing it down the inside into the first hairpin. Cameron Daz, who's has come over from FIA F3, that's where Yiffy was last year. The American, he's taken 3rd, and now he's thinking, yeah, I can take the fight to you as well. Maldonado 2 seconds last time out. He's in 4th place. Again, if he gets a good launch, we saw it in GT Open. If you can get the, I know that's a rolling start, but the driver who started 4th went immediately into 2nd. So if you get a good start, you've got a chance. It's a long run down to that first chicane. So a long run for Yiffy to have to defend. And Monza, you know, if you're on the outside going into that first chicane into the right, then you're on the inside into the left. So it's a very difficult, very tricky situation for a race leader sometimes to try and defend it, because you know you might have one driver trying to come down the inside, but equally, you know, if we've got Nicholas Cruton trying to go down the inside, Cameron Daz will just fire it down the outside, break on the racing line, and then maybe get the inside through the left. But, well, I could talk all day about it, but luckily for you, I won't anymore, because we're about to go racing. They're coming up to the start-finish line. There you can see Yiffy will pull into position. So to remind you of the grid once more, Yiffy on pole, Nicholas Cruton in 2nd. Then it is Cameron Daz in 3rd, Manuel Maldonado in 4th. There's his team you see there. Behind that is Sebastian and Andreas Esner. Then it's Dunner and Bardignon, Cohen and Van Berlo, Simmons and Andrade. And then rounding out the field, Zay Maloney. Green flag goes up at the back at Monza. The lights are starting to come on. There they go. Who's going to make it to turn 1 first? Will Yiffy be beaten here this weekend? They're off away in racing. And a good launch from both the drivers on the front row. Cameron Daz getting away well, though, in 3rd place. He's immediately going to be trying to get down the inside. Here's Lucas Dunner, who started in 7th, but looks like he'll be in 5th by the time they get down towards turn 1. He's trying to go all the way around the outside. Lucas Dunner goes to 3rd. Oh, he's made a bit of contact, though, with one of the Esner brothers, but that is Lucas Dunner up into 3rd place there. So there was contact. Cameron Daz is in 2nd place. Leading the way is then Yiffy. We go on board with Lucas Dunner, and what a magnificent start there for the Austrian. Gets himself up into 3rd place. Behind, they're fighting away. Esner and Maldonado fighting away with each other. One of those two, I think, was the one that picked up the contact from Lucas Dunner. Oh dear, I think Simmons might be the car that's gone off in the background. It's either Simmons or one of the Carling cars that has gone off, as the field now makes its way down through Lesmo 2. Cruton dropped all the way to 6th place, the driver who started on the front row initially. It looked like he got away okay. I think this is the number 25 of that's actually Esner, Sebastian Esner, trying to hold off the field coming down towards the Ascari chicane, into the Ascari chicane. We're side by side now. So Sebastian Esner 7th, Andreas is in 8th place. Oh, they're side by side through Ascari chicane. Zay Maloney on the inside. Zay Maloney goes through. So Zay Maloney there, brilliant move from the driver from Barbados, gets himself up into what will be now 9th place as they head down towards the Parabolica. Good driving there from Zay Maloney. I think that might even be 8th as they're side by side. Behind, that's Rui Andrade being passed by Glenn Van Berlo. Glenn Van Berlo goes through. Well, lots of movement going on the first lap. So Yifei leads from Cameron Daz, Lucas Dunner, Maldonado. Cruton is back up to 5th, and it's Bardignon in 6th. Esner, Simmons, Maloney, Van Berlo, Andrade, Cohen, Sebastian Esner. They have 3 across coming into the first chicane. Will they all make it in safely? Here they come. Oh, a little bit of sideways movement there from the number 26 of Ayrton Simmons, but it looks like he's made that place. So Ayrton Simmons now up a place. Good driving from the British driver, considering he started down in 11th place. Ayrton Simmons is on the cusp of maybe going after the top 5 here. So good driving from the Brit as the top 3. Look how close it is. Lucas Dunner right on the tail of Cameron Daz, who is likewise on the tail of Yifei. Now, we have had car 6 and 12 under investigation, and also car number 16 as well, all for incidents in the first few corners. So that is Glenn Van Berlo, Andreas Esner, and the other car that is involved is the number... Oh, we've got a car off. Wow, as I say that, that's I think that's Rui Andrade who's gone off. So the number 99, you look away from the screen for 1 second. Ido Cohen is the other, but that is Rui Andrade off at Lesmo 2, rejoins the track again. And Rui Andrade is going to lose a lot of time. So Sebastian Esner, he was the car that picked up the podium, picked up the damage on his rear wing. He's come into the pits. But look at your top 3. Linus Stern coming through Parabolica. This on lap number 2. Yi, Daz, Dunner in that order. Out of the final corner they come, and down the start-finish straight. Maldonado is now in chase. He is only 1 second behind. Cruton not too far behind him. So top 5 split by about 3 seconds as Elliot Wood now joins me in the commentary box. We'll come to you in just a second, Elliot, because Cameron Daz here trying to get past. Yifei is going to dive to the outside. Can he get through? Daz is going to try and go all the way around the outside and gets through. Fantastic driving from the American. Can he hold off Yifei though? Yifei just about holds on the exit. Zane Maloney there going around the outside of Alexandre Bardignon. That is a change for 8th place, but they're still side by side. Cameron Daz trying to get past Yifei here as they go up towards the second chicane. We go on board with Lucas Dunner. Lucas Dunner's going to go down the outside of the pair of them, almost 3 across into the second chicane, and just about holding on is Yifei, taking a little bit too much curb there, but look at them, they're now all queuing up. It's 5 for the lead on lap number 3.
That was absolutely mental. Sebastian Esner did successfully make it back out of the pits after pitting from that lap 1 damage where he was kind of rear-ended and then clattered the rear of Lucas Dunn as well. Yifei repeating his qualifying move of cutting across on the run to the first corner and defending from Cameron Dass. Great overtake around the outside, but Yifei was kind of had the better traction because he was on the outside line.
Lucas Dunner, 3rd in queue, just popping out of the slipstream there to Cameron Daz. Just a little bit of a wave in the wind mirror there as they now come out of Ascari chicane, and Yi might have just a little bit of a break here. Daz gets back in the tow. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All in the queue. It's Yi, Daz, Dunner. Dunner trying to get down the inside of Cameron Daz, and he's going to go through. Here comes Lucas Dunner, or is he? I spoke too soon. Daz holds on. So Daz in 2nd, but runs wide. You've got to be careful of track limit penalties. Lucas Dunner in 3rd. 4th is Maldonado. And 5th place is Cruton. Cruton fastest out of all these lot as well as they come across the line and looking to the outside. Here comes Lucas Dunner. Down the outside he goes. Can he get this place now? Away from Cameron Daz, yes. Move complete, or is it? Cameron Daz comes back down the inside. Dunner's going to be on the outside, but they give each other space, and he goes through. Brilliant racing.
But Cameron Daz has got the better traction coming out the first chicane. He's alongside around the outside. They're coming through the next curve. It's pretty incredible stuff. He's sticking to the outside, pushed him in, and he's actually completed the move before they hit the apex. Lucas Dunner was very strong this time round on the previous lap, though. Is he going to go and try and take the outside line going into the second chicane? As Yifei's already got a 1.1 second lead.
Yeah, Lucas Dunner is doing his teammate a lot of favours here because this would have been a 5-way battle, but you give Yifei over a second and I don't think you're going to be seeing him again. So I wonder if this is Crypto Tower Racing team tactics, because Lucas Dunner is not in the championship at all. He's only done 1 round, but everyone else in this queue is. So this, well, either that's Lucas Dunner being very generous, or that's just him, a slight misjudgment maybe, going a little bit too soon, because really these guys should be working together to keep with Yiffy, and then it would be a five-way fight. There is Manuel Maldonado. He is fourth. This is a replay of the start. On board with Lucas Dunner. So in second there to the right screen, Nicholas Gruden didn't get the launch. I thought he did, but Lucas Dunner got the best start. Now he's going to just stay on the outside. Everyone else goes to the inside. He's on the racing line. He can brake later, and round he goes, round the outside. He's got the inside for the left, and that is an absolutely brilliant start from Lucas Dunner. Here it is from head on. Good starts from Zane Maloney as well. At the back of the field, he was already making places before he even got across the line. On the inside of picture, Cameron Daz, he's the white car there, moving left and right, trying to find a way through. And into second place goes Cameron Daz. It was another car behind. There's the contact we saw with
Sebastian Esther rear-ended Lucas Dunner as they hit the second apex of the chain. They've come around, completed the lap. 1.4 second lead for Cameron. Well, 1.4 second lead for EPA right now. Cameron Daz in second place. Lucas Dunner already on his ear. Nicholas Cruton, I think, is going to make a move on Manuel Maldonado once these replays are completed.
Yeah, that's Glenn Van Berlo.
Yeah, and we're seeing that move taking place right now. Actually, that is Lucas Dunner lost a further place. No, he stayed in fourth. Maldonado might have got past for fourth place as well. It's getting pretty mad up front right now. Zane Maloney cuts across the chicane. Didn't take the escape road there, which he will have to do. He may get a penalty later on for that manoeuvre.
If he gets off the throttle, I think he might be okay. But Zane Maloney doing very well. He's set the fastest lap. He's now in chase of Andreas Essner, who sits in sixth place. So, take a breath. Yiffy leads from Cameron Daz, from Lucas Dunner, Cruton, Maldonado, Essner, Maloney, Simmons, Bardagnon, Cohen, Van Berlo, Andrade, Essner, who's been into the pit lane. Here is a look at that move. Oh, this is Maloney versus Ayrton Simmons. And that is a little bit of contact, isn't it? That was a move that was unsuccessful at the time.
Well, while the driver ahead does technically have the corner, he didn't leave enough racing room on the outside for Maloney to actually stay on track. So I think Simmons was in the wrong there up front. Yiffie's already broken the toe, 1.5 seconds. Das has done it all over him as they cross the start-finish line for the end of the fourth, and the end of the fifth lap even. I think Lucas Dunner is going to pick for the inside line here as he can't take the run down to turn one. He has got the inside. He may move Zane Maloney and Ayrton Simmons in the background going side by side as well. Lucas Dunner later on the brakes, and he takes second place back off Cameron Daz. Lucas Dunner started this race in seventh, was up to third at the first corner. He's been battling for second since. Simmons back ahead of Zane Maloney for seventh place. A bit of oversteering moment there. Cameron Daz, could he come back at Lucas Dunner as he come around the next corner? He's got the better run. He's actually taking the inside. I think Dunner missed a gear there as it came around the corner. Cameron Daz will be on the outside here though, so it'll be very difficult to reclaim the position.
Well, yeah, these two have got to work together. Neither of these guys are in the championship. They've both done one round so far. So they've got to act as almost teammates if they want to go and fight for the win, which, well,
they inevitably do,
yeah, of course. So, otherwise, what is the point? So you're going to want to fight for the win. So they've got to just think, look, we've got 12 laps. 12 laps is a long time. Let's just work together. Nicholas Cruton, he's a rookie with one podium to his name so far this season. Here's a replay of that move round the outside. Now, surely you just work together. I don't understand why you wouldn't want to do that, but it's easy when you're stood in this position compared to, and you've got all the data to your right in front of you, to when you're actually out there. If you have a chance to take a place, you're going to want to go for it. But here we go. Let's wait and see what happens. Good battling going on. I think they're starting to settle down.
And Maloney actually got back past Simmons. We didn't see that, but he reclaimed seventh place as well. So a lot of overtaking going on. Data we don't have right now is what the tyres are going to do over a race run, because we had free practice washed out, and then one session was more of a drying track. And Lucas Dunner is going to go for a move. Cameron Daz goes repeating Yiffie's kind of defensive manoeuvres. Dunner does have the inside line later on the brakes, does take second position. That's all that's helping is Nicholas Cruton in fourth place, who obviously took a podium last time out of the Red Bull Ring. We wanted to add to that tally here. We've been missing this racing since Monza last year. Yeah. I'm loving it.
Yeah, this is great stuff. we're going to have 2 more of them this weekend, so the most we've had so far this season. So plenty more, 2 races to treat you to tomorrow. We've got a warning for Maloney. Now that was at this corner here where he cut straight across, or would that be, it's 2 warnings, one there and then one round at the last corner as well, where he's gone all 4 wheels over. So this is your battle for second that we have on screen.
Yeah, I don't think Dunner has the best. I think he might have a gearbox. I don't think he has a gearbox problem, but he keeps missing a gear between Lesmo 1 and Lesmo 2, which is enabling Cameron Das to get very close each time. And I think on the run through turn 3 as well, we potentially saw that. That's where he keeps getting caught by Das, and I think everywhere else are fairly equal, and all that's helping is Yiffy.
Look, here come the cavalry behind these 3. We've got Maldonado and Andreas Essner closing in. So if these guys want to battle, then hey, 2 more are going to join you at least. But if you work together, you may be able to go after Yiffy. But so far they are 2 seconds behind the Chinese driver. And you know what? That's more than what he needs. Now Lucas Dunner has gone purple through the first sector on this lap. Be careful out of there. Now that is basically, Elliot, you'll be able to explain this. In fact, we'll come back to that in a second. But that is the front washing out as they're in the dirty air.
Cameron Das going for the outside line this time. Had gone for the inside on previous occasions. He's already completed the move on Lucas Dunner, who's now going to try and pick the outside line. Go later on the brakes in turn 1. Das retains a position. Manuel Maldonado's now pretty much onto the back of this train as well. So these are all kind of run at Zane Maloney's defending from Ayrton Simmons again. I think Simmons actually potentially got past him on the straight there. Maloney reclaims the place under the brakes, and that is a very messy run for potentially Rui Andrade right at the back of the field there.
It's not been great, has it, for Rui Andrade?
Cameron Das again.
Here we go. Cameron Das trying to get down the inside of Dunner. Just about holds on, does the Austrian. When is Nicholas Cruton going to make his first impact on this battle? He sat there 3rd in this queue. Hasn't yet made that impact on this battle. 4th in it though, Maldonado, when he catches these guys, and I say when because he will. When is he going to make his impact? He'll go for it straight away. As soon as he catches these guys, he's going to throw one down the inside. He will not be waiting. And you can see the FL next to Maldonado's name on the left of your screen. He is fastest on track.
But he's actually going to have that taken away because of going too wide through Parabolica. Seeing Lucas Dunner leading this train of cars for 2nd place. Yiffy must be smiling inside his helmet right now. He after qualifying, he said he was so scared of having these slipstreaming drivers doing all of this right on his tail. And he's got, you know, several car lengths between himself. It does look like Maldonado's eyeing up a move on Nicholas Cruton. Isn't going to try at Parabolica. He getting a little too close actually, so he's probably going to wash out wide again as actually Lucas Dunner goes way wide, as does Maldonado at the back of this train. Cameron Das has lost ground to Dunner because Dunner kind of got that extra traction. We're going wide. Cruton is going to be the one eyeing up a move now. Goes to the inside of Cameron Das down the pit straight. They're past the pit exit. There's going to be a time where they're wondering, where am I going to pit my braking point? Who's going to bite the pedal first? And it's Cruton who does it later, but Das tries staying side by side, backs out, avoids contact. Timo Rovkar must be pretty anxious right now as Ayrton Simmons tries, and he's battered Zane Maloney at the side into turn 1, but Maloney's come through. I think he'd have to give back that position, even though Simmons did instigate the contact, didn't give him enough space, and that's actually brought Bardignon back into this battle as well. There's battling everywhere as it's 3 wide. I think that's Maldonado and Cruton and Cameron Das, and Maldonado locks a brake, gets ahead of Das as well. Das is down to 5th place now, coming out the 2nd chicane, so potentially Nicholas Cruton got a bit sideways prior to that for all 3 of them to be side by side, because there's now a 2nd gap between them and Dunner in 2nd place.
So a few changes then. Let's have a look at the replay. So Simmons is on the inside, Maloney to the outside. Simmons is ahead. Maloney's trying to stay on the outside, but he's only half a car length alongside. So I'd say, in my opinion, that that Simmons he'll get away with that one. This is what you call a block pass. Stop the car, goes through. So Maldonado demonstrating that for us as they now make their way down towards Parabolica. So Yiffy leading. This is Lucas Dunner's chance to close him down now. He's got clear air ahead of him, and he's got a gap of 1 second to Nicholas Cruton behind. Maldonado 4th, Cameron Daz 5th, Andreas Essner 6th, and this is your 7th place battle, Maloney and Simmons, and joining them is going to be Alexandra Bardignon, who sits just behind. They're running so wide out of that final corner, they have got to be careful. There's been a warning for Maloney for track limits, but here we go, they're side by side. Cameron Daz to the outside there, 4th in this queue, and he's about to go back past Maldonado, and through he goes. So Cameron Daz through and just asserting his move there as he moved across Maldonado, as it's basically a replay, isn't it, the last few laps we've seen. Maloney now going back past Ayrton Simmons, having to go over the bumps last time. So, in fact, that was him defending, I think, wasn't it? Maloney defending from Simmons. So.
And that incident is under investigation. Maloney, because he cut across the first chicane, has had another track limits warning. That's his final warning as well. So seeing them come side by side on the run to the second chicane, Maloney's got the inside line. Simmons does late breaker, but can't get through. And yeah, he keeps position. Done a fastest lap now, 144.56. He's closed in on Ye quite significantly already, actually.
He was 4 tenths quicker last time. Lucas Dunner is closing in on Yifei. This could be a very interesting final few laps here. We're only about halfway through this race. 8 laps still on the board there. That's Alexandre Bardignon, the French driver, going along very well. Had his best qualifying performance with an 8th place. He's been in the points a couple of times this season. We'll want to add to that here as he now makes his way through the Ascari chicane. That is Ayrton Simmons in the 26. That's the first driver he'll catch if he's able to close that gap down. Now, Lucas Dunner last time, let's see, he got a fastest lap, but we'll see what they do on this lap. They've started a new lap. Let's see what they do. This is your battle for 7th, and you look further up, you've got Ido Cohen and Van Berlo not too far behind either. Here are your leaders as they cross the line. Gap is now just under, well, it's 1.5 seconds to be exact. And on that last lap that they just completed, Dunner was 3 tenths quicker than Yifei.
And Zane Maloney is coming under attack from Ayrton Simmons. Again, they're entering the first chicane. We're seeing the rear end of our lead battle. So here comes Yifei and Lucas Dunner, second place, 1.59 seconds. Third place, Nicolas Christian. 4th, Cameron Dass, who now has the fastest lap on that last lap, a 144.455. Last warning, car number 6, a track limits final corner. That's Ido Cohen. Dunner had a warning for that as well, and that was when he kind of went too deep into Parabolica. I think Maloney is still ahead of Simmons. We keep seeing it right at the back. He's having to defend into almost every corner from the Briton.
Lucas Dunner 3 tenths quicker than Yifei through the first sector alone. The Austrian is coming for the Chinese driver at Paul Ricard when Lucas Dunner, he's only won an appearance with us so far this season, 1-1 in terms of race wins, so this is to go ahead. But if Lucas Dunner catches Yifei and they start battling, then there is the rest of the field all waiting behind. They're only about 1.5 seconds back, and the gap would close down very quickly indeed. They are teammates, Yifei and Lucas Dunner. Lucas Dunner is not in the championship. Yifei very far ahead in the championship, so I'd say they're going to let them play ball and go for this as they come round the final corner. What did the gap do through the middle sector? It stayed roughly the same. So Lucas Dunner not able to close in through the middle sector. What about this last sector? Just by a few hundredths. I think Yifei has been given the signal to get a move on here.
How little wing these cars are running with the rear wing levels. So all about the top speed around this circuit, and it's something that Ayrton Simmons is particularly good at with the RR racing car. It's Cameron Dass eyeing up third place again because he's right behind Zane Maloney. Is he going to make a move at turn 1? Faints very slightly but stays behind in the end, and that's bringing the next 3 cars behind kind of back into a battle which is going very long. We are definitely past the halfway point now, and everything's still going on.
6 laps on the board now. Lucas Dunner, the gap 1.2 seconds. That's the lowest it's been since he was released in second place. To remind you, it was over 2 seconds only about 3 laps ago. Lucas Dunner, in a very short space of time, has closed that gap. But I remember last year in Austria, a similar thing like this happened. Someone was closing in on Yifei and
Marino Sato.
Yeah, and once the gap on Marino Sato, and once the gap got to a second, he just pulled off.
Yeah, well, I spoke to the drivers yesterday, and because obviously Dallara 320 continues on what the F317 is designed around, and they said the power of the slipstream here is a lot faster and they think overtaking should be a lot easier. Like, you can take the risks and know that you'll still have a car that will be underneath you when you get to that corner. When I mean underneath you, I mean like it will do what you want it to do when you turn it.
I have a feeling Yiffy is going to do that same tactic as Marino Salto, because he's all of a sudden started to find a bit of pace. Oh, you're going to be really careful out of there. They really are pushing it to the limits, aren't they? As they make their way down to start the final 5 laps of this race. It's Ye from Dunner from Cruton. Daz now setting the fastest lap of the race. He is right behind Nicholas Cruton. He's 4th. There you can see him 4th in this queue as they now make their way in towards the first chicane in the predominantly white colours. There is Cameron Daz coming through the first chicane right on the back of Nicholas Cruton. And this is a big battle because it's for the final step of the podium.
Yeah, and Zane Maloney in the back of the picture keeps 7th place again from Ayrton Simmons, who's tacking to turn 1. Das and Cruton is the next closest battle. Like you said, I think Yiffy is up the pace. Cameron Das actually fastest first sector of anyone this race. Warning flag, car 99 for the track limits final corner. That's Rui Andrade's 12th place. That's not going to affect any of the positions up front. Cameron Das will be very much hoping to get, because I think Monza was his last podium in this series back in 2018 when he was racing with Fortec Motorsports. So a long time off the podium for the American, and to do it at this circuit would be great, especially with the overtaking moves he's already shown off.
Down under the bridge and up towards the Ascari chicane, and on this lap the gap between Dunner and Ye's come down by 0.2 of a second, so not a lot in it at all. The 2 drivers who've becoming pretty good friends on circuit, Maloney and Simmons right there together. This is Ido Cohen. This is going to be his worst result of the season, actually. Just not been a good race for him.
And we've got 2 penalties that have just come up for car 31. That's Zane Maloney for track limits. 1 second penalty in car number 6. Ido Cohen, his Carlin teammate.
Penalty. So Simmons now, all he has to do is follow Maloney round to the flag, basically.
Be up to 7th place as a result. I think Lucas Dunner on the previous lap actually had a very slow middle sector. It was why we thought Yiffy had upped his pace, because they're all running kind of 34.8 in that middle sector. And that's what they've done this time round. Yay, 1.364 seconds ahead of Lucas Dunner. 4 laps to go. Cameron Das is again quicker. He's eyeing up Nicholas Cruton. Could he make a move? There's 1 second gap between pretty much the next 4 cars.
Well, he's gone through. Simmons goes through. That is a change for 7th place. And as they go through Curva Grande, will he be able to hold that move? Because last time we saw this, Zane Maloney was able to get straight back past him, but Zane Maloney this time having a little bit of a gap. As Elliot points out to me, Maldonado has just gone purple through the first sector. He's right on the back of Cameron Daz, and that's going to be the fight for 4th as Maloney dives back down the inside of Ayrton Simmons and goes back through. So great move that, but Simmons is going to fight back on the exit up towards Lesmo 1, and Ayrton Simmons is going to go back past, but Maloney trying to hold on round the outside. Oh, and he's off into the gravel. Maloney onto the gravel, and now trying to get past. That is Bardignon, but Bardignon unable to get through. The door slammed in his face, and Maloney once again onto the gravel. So a brilliant move now turns into Zane Maloney having to defend for not just 9th but 10th as well.
Yeah, slightly dangerous re-entry track, but you know at the Lesmos you can't really do anything different there because the barriers close in on the exit corner. And he came and Bardignon spun. Cohen's tapped him. The Glenn Van Berlo came through as well. I think 2 of the drivers did a very good job avoiding that. And Bardignon's reversed into the gravel, and he's beached it, which probably means he's going to have a safety car, which will leave us
the end of the race. Potentially.
Might have 1 lap shootout, which would be very exciting if we do. Has Maloney got any damage from that?
You've just said 1 lap shootout. Yet safety car is on standby.
And Dunner had actually closed into Yiffy anyway. Had set his personal best at 1 minute 44.4. Ye had set his personal best, so both were clearly getting faster. But Dunner was closing in, and Maldonado had brought the top 5 battle down to 4.2 seconds.
The safety car was on standby, but all we're seeing now is the yellow flags have gone out. So this is where it all started. This is a fantastic move from Zane Maloney. Gets one down the inside here. Simmons now setting up the switchback already as they make their way out. That's Simmons politely showing Zane Maloney to the gravel. As you said, rejoins, nothing really he can do, but then goes off again at Lesmo 2, and Bardignon at this point gets the run, and Bardignon on to get his best result of the season, tries to go around the outside, but then gets tagged by Ido Cohen, Maloney's teammate, and as you said, reverses into the gravel basically, and Alexandre Bardignon.
And Lucas Dunner has brought the gap to Yiffy Ye down to under a second. Ye's going faster than he has at any point in this race, but Dunner's clearly got the pace advantage. He can't go for a move at Ascari though, which is where Bardignon's car has, I presume, been left. We're only seeing replays right now. We really need to see some live action footage as the top 5 still covered by 4.3 seconds.
That's Andrade and Van Berlo. And that's
he's opened the lead but gap back up in the middle sector, so obviously that's because Dunner can't overtake, and that looks like he's got traffic ahead of him. Is that one of the Van Amersfoort cars? Now that could be Bardignon or it could be Esner.
Double yellow flag now at Ascari, so they're going to have to slow down going into there. That is Sebastian Esner that is ahead here, and that's good. Yiffy Ye's going to get the tow here. The blue flag will wave, and Sebastian Esner will get out of the way. And he'll now join back in behind.
And Cameron Das and Niklas Kruiten fight. No, Manuel Maldonado even. He's trying to go for the outside of Das. Das defended, slides into turn 1, gets it through turn 2. Maldonado very loose on the steering wheel, but he's probably going to have a slipstream slightly going into turn 3. Could dive inside a rim, go for the second chicane. He has actually gone for the inside line. It's going around this corner. Probably the only last time he can try this move in this race, as Dunner successfully laps the Van Amersfoort car. Das goes into the corner in 5th place. Maldonado's completed the move, but he taps in lightly on the rear. Maldonado's still ahead, coming out. Chicane cuts across. Das is all over him going into the first Lesmo. He's going to pick the outside line, pulls back. Will he go for the second Lesmo as well?
I wouldn't think so. So good move there. Maldonado has completed it. He's gone up to 4th place. Don't think he's going to have the time or the ability with 2.7 ahead. He's going to need some good fortunes there. And we've got a double yellow here as well at Ascari chicane. Good move that from Manuel Maldonado. Sets it up nicely in the first chicane, and he goes through ahead of Cameron Das, who drops down to 5th. And Das at one stage in this race was in 2nd, fighting for the win, but we're about to go on to the final lap, and Yiffy Ye has done enough here to hold on. You give Yiffy Ye a second, that's all he needs, as has been proven here. Cameron Das going around the final corner is going to run wide. Oh, he's run very wide through there, Cameron Das, and in the end, he's going to have to be careful that he does not get a penalty there, but he's going to maybe have a go here on Manuel Maldonado. This is the battle between Ido Cohen and Glenn Van Berlo for 9th place. Rui Andrade not too far behind it as they head up to the start-finish line to start the final lap. The closest battle on track is now the one for 4th. Close battle as well, going for 7th a little bit, and then this is the next closest. This is the one a little bit further down the field. Someone's gone straight on. I think that might have been Andrade. It might have been Andreas Esner. Oh, down the inside, and Ido Cohen down the inside there of Glenn Van Berlo. Oh no, and Ido Cohen off into the gravel there. Van Berlo just giving him nowhere to go, and Ido Cohen, well, he had nowhere to go but the gravel. This is your race leader we now pick up. So this is Yiffy Ye coming through Lesmo 2. Lucas Dunner in 2nd place, and a real shame that for Ido Cohen. There was a good battle going on with Glenn Van Berlo, and there may be some looking into that after the race, but only half a lap to go now. Up to Ascari we go. It's been a drama-filled race, you have to say. 2 more to come as well, and we've just proven that if the leader does not get away, the fight could go all the way to the flag, and I think all the drivers will know that now as we make our way down to the final corner. We're about to see the checkered flag in race number 1. Round the final corner then, Yiffy Ye rounds the final corner, and once again he is going to be on the top step of the podium. He'd only been beaten once coming into this weekend, and this is going to be his 6th win of the season. Yiffy Ye takes the checkered flag and the race win. Lucas Dunner finishing in 2nd place, 1.7 seconds behind, and finishing in 3rd place, Niklas Kruiten. Smiles all around in the Crypto Tower Racing team. Lucas Dunner on the podium once again in what is his second round of the season. And Nicholas Cruton continuing his good form from the last round to get his second podium of the season in succession. Maldonado finishing in third. So here's a replay, Elliot, of that incident. Glenn Van Berlo on the inside, and it just gives him nowhere to go.
Yeah, I think we need to see the steering inputs there, because it did look like the DriveX car got tail happy, but then Van Berlo, yeah, you can see, well, I think contact might have already been made by that point, so I'll take that back. Yeah, Van Berlo's fault probably.
Well, that's the way I saw it as well. Let's confirm the results. Yifei taking his sixth win of the season. He's going to be joined on the podium by his teammate, once again, Lucas Dunner for Crypto Tower Racing Team. And what a result for Nicholas Cruton, currently 7th in the championship. He'll certainly be moving up the order. That his second podium in succession and second podium of the season. Maldonado 4th, taking that away towards the end from Cameron Daz. Andreas Essner 6th. Ayrton Simmons moves up from 11th to 7th. Zay Maloney moving up from 13th to 8th. Then it's Glenn Van Berlo in 9th. Rui Andrade, who had a trip into the gravel, in 10th place. And outside of the top 10, Ido Cohen, another driver who found himself in the gravel. He was 11th. Sebastian Essner had to pit with damage on the first lap. And running out the field, Alexandre Bardignon, who was beached at Ascari. That is what the championship looks like. So really it's the battle for second we're looking at, and not a lot in it at all. The gap once again closing. Manuel Maldonado taking a few more points out of Andreas Essner, 3, and it's now only 11 points between those two. 8 points back is Lucas Dunner. Then it's Cohen, Cruton, who's moved up to 6th. Essner drops to 7th. Maloney dropping to 8th. Simmons 9th. Glenn Van Berlo in 10th place. Pretty good race, that one, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's what I've been patiently waiting for with this new Dallara 320 car. And that was basically what was promised with this car as well. We signed off the previous generation with this kind of slipstreaming classic at Monza, and we've waited, well, we've waited exactly a year, because it was this weekend in 2019 that we retired the previous one. So one whole year we've waited for a race as classic as this. Monza always provides the goods with this kind of style of racing.
I have to say, though, I think it could have been better, because Lucas Dunner, when he went for that move into the final corner, that it broke up the lead group immediately, and we've got 2 more chances. And I think in one of those 2 races, now all the drivers know what's just happened. One of those 2 races, surely it's going to be a lead battle that continues on. So it could have been a real 5-way scrap for the lead all the way to the flag. But when those lead 5 broke up, there was a lot of good moves in the process, wasn't it? But well, 6th time this season, Yifei. Oh, don't fall over.
That's the quickest he's got out the car, though. I'll give him that.
Recovered it well in the end. Yifei taking the win. Lucas Dunner 2nd. I tell you what, did very well from 7th on the grid to 2nd. Brilliant drive from him, and I think he knows he's got a win in him this weekend after the pace he just shown there. And Nicholas Cruton potentially does as well, because Nicholas Cruton, he kept the guys honest, and he brought himself into that lead fight, because he wasn't in it at the start. It was a 3-way fight at the start, but Nicholas Cruton, having dropped back at the start to about 6th or 7th, kept his head, recovered that, and then went from 4th, closed the gap down to the top 3 as well. So in terms of drivers of the race, he'd be up there for me, because he didn't get a good initial launch off the line. Dropped all the way down to 7th, and for a rookie to keep his calm like that, got to say, very, very impressive stuff. And I say rookie, he is the lead rookie as well. Interviews being prepared, so we're going to be hearing from Yifei very shortly. To remind you though, first, rookie winner and his 2nd podium in a row, Nicholas Cruton continuing his fine form. He finishes in 3rd place. 2nd place, Lucas Dunner is 2-1 to Yifei, but Lucas Dunner returning for the 2nd time this season, and once again on the podium from 7th to 2nd. But taking the win for the 6th time this season, Chinese driver Yifei, doing another fantastic job, was given a little bit of a gap, and after that took advantage to go and take yet another win. Let's hear from him now.
Yeah, Yifei, of course, putting a mask. Not because you don't want to show yourself. You have won at Monza. Must be a great feeling. as this is a very special circuit.
Yeah, absolutely. Monza winning from pole is the hardest track I think on earth, I would say. With the toll, the effect is so big that it's really hard for the leader to run away. Yeah, we made a very, very good start, I would say. So we keep the lead on the first lap, and then my teammates was really close behind. So I had to defend on the third lap, I think, into turn one. And then, fortunately, they were fighting against each other, so I had to brake, so I could create, I think, a 2-second gap. And then once Lucas managed to overtake the rest of my teammates, he was coming very quickly behind, so I was under massive pressure. Yeah, luckily we are able to hold on to the P1 position until the end, thanks to me not make any mistakes, and thanks to the team for giving me a fantastic car. So very happy about that. Let's see what we can do tomorrow.
Well done, you have said it all. Thank you very much. Enjoy.
Round number 4 got underway with Yiffy Yi on pole position once again, and he would lead us down towards turn number 1. Nicholas Cruton on the inside of the front row didn't get a good launch from 7th place. We were all waiting for Lucas Dunner to make places, and he would do so immediately. On board of him to the very right of screen, he would go from 7th to 3rd in one fell swoop. Fantastic move from him. He would make contact with Sebastian Estner in the process, who would have to come into the pits. That was Rui Andrade going off at Lesmo 2, and then the fighting continued with Lucas Dunner fighting away with Cameron Daz here for 2nd place. That allowed Yiffy Yi to get a bit of a gap, and we would never see him again. There were fantastic moves from everyone in this battle. That was Cameron Daz doing one of them round the outside at the 2nd chicane, but he wouldn't be able to get rid of Lucas Dunner in the process. He would come back at him once again into the 1st chicane, and sitting in behind Nicholas Cruton, who was quiet for a while but would then make his progress here. That was Manuel Maldonado going with a brilliant block pass on Cameron Daz. This was unfortunately the moment we saw the yellow flags out at Ascari. Ido Cohen tagging the back of Bardignon, who would be beached into the gravel and stay there to the end. But out front it would be Yiffy Yi who would win by just under 2 seconds ahead of his teammate Lucas Dunner and Nicholas Cruton, rounding out the top 3. Let's get the drivers onto the podium. 2 of them are already there. Nicholas Cruton to the right-hand side of screen. To the left, Lucas Dunner, but taking the win. Let's get him onto the top step once again. It's almost going to have his name on it by the end. Yiffy Yi taking the race win here at Monza. Must feel absolutely fantastic. And the team manager from Crypto Tower Racing Team joins him. And now we'll pause for the national anthem. Well, there we have it, your top 3. Brilliant to see the top 3 on the podium here at Monza. It's one of the podiums I think all racing drivers want to stand on one day. And on the top step there, Yiffy Yi, Crypto Tower Racing Team, continue to provide this form, which is unbeatable. Crypto Tower Racing Team have won every single race so far this season. 6 of them to Yiffy Yi, 1 of them to Lucas Dunner. Brilliant stuff, and there's going to be plenty more of that. We've got 2 more races coming up this weekend for you. 2 tomorrow. They will be at 30 minutes past 11 local time here in Italy and 40 minutes past 3. We'll be out for qualifying though, first thing, 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. Make sure you join us then.